Well, I'm on the phone with Duane Crawford, the head football coach for the Ellsworth Eagles, as we are every Monday and Thursday during football season. And, Coach, you faced a tough Dexter Tiger team during homecoming, which doesn't make it any easier. And you know why Dexter's undefeated so far.
Yeah, they and we've been down and scouted them. We scouted them when they played Holton and knew what we were getting into. And I felt, though, that if we played really well, we might be able to do some things against them. And as it turns out, we didn't do much of anything. It was just one of those games where we just didn't match up well with their size and strength and speed. 14 seniors, and they're a good team. So we're definitely outmatched all the way across the board when it came to the size and strength and speed factor. So it's one of those games. They're going to be graduating their 14 seniors, and we're only going to graduate 3 or 4. So we'll have a full contingent back, and they just they'll learn. And we made a lot of young mistakes. We gave up 2 onside kicks that we shouldn't have. The opening one and then the third one. So there are 2 scores off that, and just made some young team mistakes and basically didn't play very well when it comes down to everything. So,
one of the things, and I made a comment online in the Ellsworth football group, is that this Ellsworth team is basically a very young team with 7 or 8 freshmen that are, and the majority are freshmen and sophomores that are starting. And when you start playing with 14, 15, 16-year-olds against 18-year-olds, there's just, it's night and day difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference, and we talk to the kids, and it's one of those things. After the game, I talk to them and say, guys, it's just one of those things that you did what you could. It's time to get ready for Mountain View now, and it's one of those games where you're just outmatched physically. There's not much you can do about it. And getting in the weight room over the next year will help with a lot of that, and the kids will get bigger and stronger, and we'll be there in another year or so. That's not a question. It's just having them play better and learn as we get to that point. So and things, we saw this a couple of years ago as well. Things like kickoff teams, special teams making mistakes, letting that ball roll around and not pick it up for whatever reason. We did the same thing a couple of years ago, and teams would recover an onside kick because we weren't astute enough to get on the ball, and so just the little things like that, and they all tend to add up. So we had some kids that were injured, we had some kids that were sick that were playing, and you combine everything together, and it just wasn't a very good day.
Yeah, the second onside kick, if it had been on the near side, I was ready to jump on it because it was just, it's unfortunate. I mean, and when teams take advantage of, it's smart football, but it's just, you kind of, tear your hair out, and you don't have anything to tear out. So,
right, yeah. And the last score they put up was against they still had their varsity starters out there. We had our JV squad in for the last 2 or 3 minutes. So that last score was just them trying to get to 50 points, I think. So,
what do you, I know you're not going to say anything, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. You were on the back end of an MCI team that was kicking onside kicks when the score was 70-something to nothing a couple of years ago. Tell me, and I know Dexter is facing MCI. MCI's undefeated. Dexter's undefeated. That's going to be a great Class D game next week. But why do they have their varsity in there in the last 2 minutes when you're up 40-something to nothing?
Well, if it was me, I would have taken my varsity players out in the third quarter and rested them. But that's
okay. That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just leave it at that. What do you have? I think Chris Fickett was injured.
Yeah, just bruised ribs.
Okay.
Yeah, so he got X-rays and they were negative, so that's good. He'll be out a week, but
yeah.
that was it. From that game, we didn't have any other injuries other than his ribs. So, well, we've got walkthrough tonight. We've got a JV game tonight with Dexter. They're coming down and playing the JVs. And, we'll get the varsity together along with some of the JV players before they go out and just work on stuff that we're going to work on for Mountain View and go out there and put together a game plan for this week and have Mountain View come down Friday night to us.
Is Hoogie Pratt still the coach of Mount View?
Pardon?
Is Hoogie still the coach down at Mount View? He's a veteran coach.
He is. He's a really nice guy. He was there scouting too. You may have seen.
Oh, I didn't see him. No.
So, yeah. He's a good guy, and he's got a good football team. They run the double wing with a lot of motion. He's got some good players on the team. We saw them preseason. We scrimmaged them at MCI, so we have a little bit of familiarity. And then their JVs came down last week and played against us. So we know pretty much what they're going to want to do. And once again, it's just going to be one of those things. Can we hang with an older group of players? And so it's just about execution, and we're not going to do a whole lot of anything different. Just get better at what we do, and get the kids ready, and come out and play on Friday night.
All right, so you've got a walkthrough tonight, or kind of a smaller group, and then work sessions Tuesday, Wednesday, walkthrough Thursday before the home game Friday night.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, with the JVs going, that leaves us with 8 or 9, 7 or 8 kids, I guess, actually, to do anything with. So there's not a lot you can do. We go over, what happened in the game and what we saw from film, and just put in any little wrinkles that we may put in for Friday night, and then we do it again Tuesday night with the rest of the team, and Wednesday is the actual work day, and then Thursday you've got we call it a run through, not a walk through, but we have our run through on Thursday and then play on Friday.
All right, and then for looking at the forecast, at least Friday night, mostly clear, lows in the upper 40s. That's football weather.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that'll be a nice night.
All right, Coach. Have a good week.
Okay, thanks, Chris.